Hi guys, nice to be back with you again. So I shared with you a couple of weeks ago that there was something really amazing that I had seen that has been a huge insight for me, and it's literally something I've seen in the last sort of 3 or 4 days. So I'm going to do my best to share it with you, but let's see how it lands, right? And it's a real game changer for me. So what I saw was that, I'm going to try and break it down, right? So the thing that I saw was, it's like there's a thing, hang on, coming on. Right, there's a thing, hang on, I'll hold this up in a minute. These before. There's a thing, and then there's our experience of the thing, and the two are completely and utterly separate from each other. So this is a bill, right? And this is our experience of the bill, created through our thinking. This is our child, and this is our experience of our child created through our thinking. This is a husband shouting and angry. This is our experience of it, created through our thinking. The misunderstanding that we're all operating under is that this causes this. And what I've seen so deeply the last few days is this one simple, really simple fundamental thing. The two are completely unrelated. That our experience is created from our thought in the moment, for as long as that thought lasts, with the associated feelings about any of these things. 100% of the time, with zero exceptions. Now, we can get caught up and imagine that my shouting husband or wife is making me feel bad, because if they weren't there and shouting at me, I wouldn't be feeling bad. But it's not true. We can imagine that all we want. We can imagine that the sun goes around the earth. People did for a long time, and they acted accordingly. And then all of a sudden there was a shift in understanding. There was a deeper understanding of how the system really worked. And people saw that the earth went around the sun. It changed everything. And the earth goes around the sun 100% of the time, without exception, even when you're watching a sunset and watching the sun go down, and it really looks like the sun's going around the earth. We have a fundamental knowing that it can't be true. That's never true, ever. Whether you believe it, whether you've ever studied it, whether you understand it, whether you have faith in it, whether you trust it, it doesn't work that way. It always works. The earth always goes around the sun. And there is a complete separation. You are only ever feeling your thinking in the moment about any particular thing. And this thing can be your business. It can be your money. It can be yourself, right? So you're thinking about yourself and what you're up to and what you enjoy doing and what you prefer to do and how you operate in business and what skills you have and what tendencies you have, are nothing more than a thought created experience. Now, this is kind of what I've always been saying, but my goodness, I see it at such a deeper level now. And I'll tell you what happened as I saw this. I saw that this is the only thing you need to know. Like, we could actually scrap the rest of the simplicity solution, because this is the only thing you need to know. Because when you see this is true 100% of the time without exception, for me what happened is my head is emptied, completely emptied. And in the space that's there, all the stuff we talk about, state of mind, all the stuff we talk about experiencing peace of mind, about creativity, about resilience, all the other stuff we talk about with the principles, It's just there, it's a given. It's like this understanding, this is the gateway to everything else we've been trying to understand in our conversation around the principles. Like, it's blowing my mind, the simplicity of it. And weird things are happening as a result of this insight. For example, I'm not thinking about my business at all. The time that I thought I was really busy and I didn't have any spare time, suddenly time has elongated in my experience, and I've got way more of it than I thought I had. And even when I was with my daughter was throwing a massive tantrum in the street, and my initial reaction was to get cross because she was showing me up in the street, and I could feel myself getting really angry at her tantrum because it was completely unreasonable. And it was about Cadbury's cream eggs or something like that, and or hairstyles or something, flappy bit on a shoe or something really insignificant. But she was in total meltdown again for the 100th time this week. And my normal reaction is to get really angry and then get stuff that comes along with mothering about how I'm a bad mother. And what happened was that she threw the tantrum. I felt myself go into my habitual thinking, and then the thought came to me, hang on, it doesn't work that way. Like, I'm creating this sense of anger and indignation and guilt. Like, I'm doing, it's coming from me. It's an illusion, it's coming from her, no matter what she's doing. Because it's true 100% of the time without exception. And in that state, in seeing that, I kind of didn't react to her, and my mind just went into neutral, and she carried on having the tantrum, and we carried on walking, and 3 minutes later she was out of it, and she was just talking normally and happily, and I've never seen her recover that so fast, ever. And that's happened about 6 times since then, where she's blown up as she normally would, and where it would normally last an hour, it's lasting minutes, seconds. And I'm seeing lots of examples like that, where just me having this understanding changes the way that people respond and people react, and situations that come up, I'm just seeing them so much differently. And the thing I love about the simplicity of this is that all the time we've spent trying to examine, well, have I got a busy mind? Have I got a quiet mind? Am I in a state of mind? Am I in a state of thought? Is it wisdom? Is it process thinking, or is it instinctual flow thinking? All of that irrelevant, doesn't matter. Like, I really want to go back and delete every other Simplicity Solution video and blog post I've ever written, because you don't have to think about any of that. All you have to know is one simple truth, which is that you can only ever experience your thinking in the moment. It is never coming from the thing or the person or the circumstance. It doesn't matter if you've got cancer. It doesn't matter if your kids are sick. It doesn't matter if your business goes bankrupt. It doesn't matter if your marriage falls to pieces. It doesn't matter if somebody shouts at you. Your experience of that is created through your thinking. This also deletes where people say to me, well, I see that it's my thinking, but what do I do? When you really see this, that question doesn't arise, because you just fall into an empty mind. There is nothing to do. And that's the simplicity behind what I'm seeing at the moment. It really is blowing my mind. And around the opportunity, like the thing that excites me is how simple this is to help people grow their businesses, how simple it is to help people with anxiety or depression, or because we live in a world where it looks like things can make us feel anxious, right? That our businesses can make us feel anxious, or that people or circumstances can make us feel anxious. And when you see that that's not true, you don't have to change your thinking, you don't have to monitor your thinking, you don't have to assess your state of none of it. Just fall in, you're left with clarity when you see this deeply. That's what I want you to reflect on this week. I've got nothing more to say on it. It's just person looks like when they just had an insight. But I'd love to know what you hear in this, and whether, for me, I've been hearing this for years, and I'm like, yeah, I get that, but what do I do with my thinking? Or yeah, I get that. So when I'm in a quiet state of mind, I see this, like, it doesn't matter. It's like, at some point, I don't know, for me, it's taken me 4 years, and I've suddenly seen this to such a profound level that it's changed everything. It's like a whole nother level. It's like a whole different game. And yeah, just share with me what you hear in that on the Facebook group, and up for that in our next Q&A calls, up for discussion. All right, speak to you later. Bye.